Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Mide. I'm glad to have you here. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about thick locks, full locks, and thin locks. Which one is going to fit you the most? Would your locks come out like that at the end of the day? Now people are like, I want my locks to look full and beautiful. I want my locks to look healthy and all that. The desire of most people is to have beautiful and healthy looking locks. But whether you're going to be having thick locks, full locks, or thin locks will depend greatly on so many things. You have to be able to profile your hair before you will know how it is going to come out, or before you can decide how you want it to come out. Okay, you need to put into consideration the density of your hair, the texture of the hair that you have, the size of your head, and how you're going to be starting your lock. Do you have high density hair, or is the density of your hair low? Is the texture of your hair fine? Is it medium, or is it coarse? All these are the things that will determine the thickness of your lock, the fullness of your lock, or if your lock is going to be thin. One thing that you should know is that it is possible for you to have thick and full locks, and it is also possible for you to have thin and full locks. Okay, but it is not going to be for everybody, because we all have different types of hair. Your locks could be thick and not full. It could be thick and be full. Your locks could be thin and full, and it could be thin and not full. It all depends on all these criteria that I mentioned earlier on. So let's look at thick locks. If you want your locks to be thick, okay, like I just want thick locks, I want big size of locks on my head, then there are things that you have to put into consideration. Number one is the number of locks that you are going to be having. If you want thick locks and your hair is of high density, of medium texture, or coarse texture, okay, it could also be fine texture. All right, in this regard, the number of locks that you are going to be having is going to be considerably small. It is not going to be high. And then the size of locks that you are going to be starting with will have to be thick. Your hair will have to be cut into big sizes for it to come out looking thick at the end of the day. That is one. The next thing is the method of the locks, the method of starter locks that you are going to be using. If you want your hair to come out thick, then you will want to start your locks with 2-strand twist, because 2-strand twist allow your hair to swell at the end of the day. Okay, it allow enough movement of hair out of the strand of the locks. This hair that become fuzzy end up locking up and allowing the strand of your locks to come out looking thick. You could also use semi-freeform methods to start your locks. You still need to cut your hair in big sizes. And then you could also use comb coils to start your locks. That also allows the hair to swell considerably well after some times. A high density, coarse texture hair is going to appear thicker than a low density, fine texture or medium texture hair at the end of the day. If your hair is not of high density and it is not of coarse texture but medium maybe, then you also need to cut the size of the locks big, but it may not appear so thick at the end of the day. Then another thing is, if you have fine texture hair and it is of low density, you may have thick locks, all right, but it may not be that thick. Then you're going to be having very few locks on your head. That's the type of hair you have, all right. Then let's consider full locks. Full locks also depends on all these criteria that I mentioned. If you want your hair to come out full, It could be in small sizes and it could be in big sizes or even medium sizes. Okay, this for people that have high density hair, thick hair, coarse texture. If you want your hair to come out full, then you have to cut the size of the lock small. It means that you're going to be starting with like close to 100 strands of locks, more than up to like 1,000 if you want it to be full. Okay, full hair could be thick and full. Full hair could be thin and be full. Okay, it all depends on what you want. Okay, so a low density hair could appear full at the end of the day, and a fine texture, medium texture hair could appear full at the end of the day if the size of the locks that you cut is much. Okay, someone that has sparse hair and the texture is fine could also have full hair if the method that you are going to be starting the hair with will allow your hair to come out full. If you want your hair to come out full, irrespective of the texture and the density of your hair, then you will have to start the locks with 2 strand twists or comb curl. Okay, when you are using 2 strand twists, then you will need to twist the hair a bit loosely, not so tight, because if it is tight, then it might not come out so full at the end of the day. But if it is loose, it's going to come out full because it's going to be able to swell considerably well. There are a couple of people that have thick locks and it appears full. Someone like Ugbomeh has high density hair, the hair is thick and it appears full. Someone like Ikije has full locks, but it is not thick. She has what you call micro locks, but it is full micro locks. Keeping Up with China has medium sized locks and it appears full on her head. There's also someone that I know that has fine texture hair, and at the end of the day, based on how she went about installing the locks came out looking full after some time. I'm going to put her name down in the description below because I cannot remember her name right now. When I wanted to start my locks, I was not actually thinking of whether it's going to be thick or whether it's going to be full. All I knew is that I did not want few number of locks on my head. I did not want thick locks. I wanted something full and not so thick. Okay, that is what I wanted, and that is what I got. All right, most important thing is for you to have healthy looking locks, and if you want to have healthy looking locks, then you have to start with healthy looking hair. For you to have thick locks or full locks, then you have to be realistic with it. Know your hair profile, and if you know this, then you will know how the hair is going to turn out at the end of the day. So you will not end up moving from one lock journey to another, starting your locks over and over again. Then it is an assurance that you are going to be satisfied with how your locks turn out at the end of the day. So many people have different ways that they want their locks to appear. They have it in mind how they want their look to come out, but because we all have different types of hair, and that's just the way God made it. Okay, it does not mean that your lock is not going to come out beautifully well if you are able to put all these things into consideration. Okay, if you are able to profile your hair perfectly well and know what is going to fit you and what is not. There are so many people that appear beautiful with their locks regardless of whether it is thick, thin or full. Jo Michelle has thick and full locks. It is the type of hair that she has. Day has fairly thick locks and it is few on her head, and she still appear beautifully well. Beautiful, healthy looking locks depend greatly on how well you are able to maintain your locks, and so whether it's going to be full locks or thick lock or thin lock, then it should be something that you'll be able to maintain considerably well. Regardless of whether you're carrying full locks or thick locks or even thin lock, what is most important is how healthy and how beautiful your locks turn out to be, and it all depends on you, how well you are able to maintain your locks. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and click on the notification bell to get notified when I upload more video on locks. Stay blessed, stay beautiful, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.